Not quite.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's slightly hybrid of a pod. So it is the after-match podcast, so we'll be talking about last night's game, but we're also going to be covering the predictions results now that Jay's pulled his finger out and we've got the predictions from
after Carl threw me under the bus.
And we'll also be looking forward to the game at the weekend as well. So a bit of a hybrid this one, just purely because Sky TV are fucking shit and they're pissed about with the roster and the schedule. So let's get an introduction going and we'll get into it.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard. Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No. The utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead. I still don't really understand that bit.
I'm this intro, Gilly. I'm telling you, it's maintaining its record.
I'm okay. I guess in terms of an order of business, let's get up to speed on the predictions first, and then we'll get into last night's game. So for Fulham, we had Jay went 2-0 leads. Smarty went 1-1 draw. Stats went 2-1 leads. Fans went 2-1 leads. Joe went 2-1 leads. Bren went 2-1 leads. Gilly went 3-2 Fulham. Carl didn't predict. Luke went 2-2 draw. Si didn't predict. Scotty went 3-1 Fulham. Lou didn't predict. And Jason went 3-1 Fulham. Which does mean I picked up 3 points. Scotty picked up 1. It's Scotty's first prediction since the turn of the year, because he deleted Twitter, and I've been getting it from his Twitter DMs. He deleted Twitter after he fell out with somebody in a big way and then completely forgot about it.
Jesus Christ.
Jason actually, from that one point, moved into third place. So after that game, it was Jay on 26 points. I'm still not happy with that. Myself on 17. And in my turn, I'm then 5 points clear of Jason. And then there's Carl and Luke, 1 point behind Jason on 11 points. We're in skip ahead to Leicester. And I say skip ahead. So Carl has completely shit a brick and has decided to not predict at all anymore. So I'm just going to pick whatever I think is a pretty bad one for him. So he gets a -3 because we got a draw, and Skip from the comments went with a Leicester win. So that's a -3. Also a -3 was Si, who went 3-0 Leicester. Scotty, who went 3-0 Leicester. Lou, who went 5-0 Leicester.
Jesus Christ.
Jason, who went 3-1 Leicester. Joe, who went 3-1 Leicester. And then we have I went 2-1 lead, so I get nothing. We've got Bren, who went 2-2 draw, picks himself up 3 points. Smarty went 2-1 leads, gets nothing. Jay, you went 2-1 leads, get nothing. Stats went 1-1 draw and gets himself 5 sweet points, which does mean that Carl drops away. So he was on 11 points in joint third. Carl drops away onto 8 points. Jason drops to 9 points. Stats is on 11. Luke's on 11. I'm on 17 still, and Jay's on 17 still, because we went leads and it would a draw. So no minuses or anything. And Smarty remains on 1 single solitary point. So that gives us, if I run down the table, that gives us Jay at the top, then myself in second, Luke and Stats joint third, Jason in 5th on 9 points, Carl and Bren joint 6th on 8 points. Then it's the fans on 3. Then Joe and Smarty together on 1. Scotty from LUTV is on -2. Si, formerly of Leeds United fame, is on -3. And Big Lou of LS11 fame is on -16 points.
Poor lad. He's proper screwed it up and he's blown it.
God.
So, yeah, welcome along to this evening. So, I think if we, what we'll do is we'll have our thoughts on the game, and then we'll get through some of the comments from people. So keep your comments coming in, elements to pick up from last night. So, as the most positive person in the podcast, specifically about the result last night, Jay, I'm going to come to you first. How are we feeling?
Absolutely crushed, mate. I'm just completely deflated and like an old tyre that's been sat for a few years, just gradually gone down, and there's nothing left now, nothing left to give. That's
from
it.
You or from Leeds?
From me and from Leeds, mate. It's one and the same at this point in time.
Is this where we bring in the video of Ian Beale saying I've got nothing left?
God, when I had long hair and a beard, I looked a bit too close to that, to be honest with
you. So, I mean, in terms of the performance and the result itself, surely it's better than conceding 13 in 3 games. Yeah, we only conceded a single goal.
I mean, if you want to put it like that, on a technical basis, then yeah, sure. But I mean, somebody on Twitter today, I'd written a tweet to someone else and mentioned after that shit game last night, someone replied to me and said, it wasn't a shit game. We played well and we didn't lose. And I was just like, what? We played well.
So which bit of it are you disagreeing with? Is it the play well or the not losing? Because we didn't lose.
It's firstly better than we have done for the last 3 games.
It's the fact that someone's happy with a point against them. Secondly, first half, not too bad. It looked like there were a lot of effort. People were trying. Even McKennie were running around like he'd seen what his mate had said and needed to get out there and show us, and it were all right up to half time. It wasn't bad. We were getting into them a bit. We were standing off a bit too much for me at times. But second half, man, it was just abysmal. It's like this team has lost the ability to play a second half. Like, what the fuck has happened to them? And I'm that upset about it. I completely blame the manager for this. The fact that Willie Gnonto didn't even get a look in, even when Cine got injured, even when we level and effectively doing nothing at all to look like we're going to get ahead again, it just, that baffles me. That it's like he's trying to prove a point and he's doing it at our survival's expense, just to prove his authority, prove he's the man and he won't be dictated to. And that's the wrong thing for me. I said on here before that if he kept us up, he earned a chance to get the job full-time properly. I no longer think that. It's just, he doesn't adapt during games for me. It's great having a different plan per opponent and having something tailored to them. But games don't always go the way you think they're going to go. And if you can't adapt to that and change that, and you're sitting back against a side like that last night who looked absolutely terrified when we actually did attack them. They were all over the place. And yet he still had us sit back. And I said to the guy next to me, it feels like a team that's just waiting to concede here when we were still ahead. And it did. It looked like we were just waiting for the inevitable. There were no movement at that point. People weren't showing for the ball anymore. We had throw-ins and free kicks. People weren't offering themselves. No one were really trying at that point. And then he brings fucking Aronson on, and you could just hear everybody groan collectively. And I don't blame Aronson. It's not his fault. He's been asked to come on. He's come on. He's done his best. It was the wrong sub. The crowd was singing for Willie Gnonto for 30 or 40 minutes. And
he genuinely does, just to touch on that Aronson thing, he genuinely does look like he's trying his best.
Oh yeah, he does.
One of his compatriots has been getting a fair amount of stick because of the level of effort we see or don't see more specifically. It's not an effort thing with Aronson, is it?
No, you can never take that from him. You can never say he doesn't try. He's just not up to scratch, and that's not necessarily his fault. So I don't hold it against him that he gets brought on. It's not to do with that. I'll support him on the pitch, but it should have been Gnonto And you're watching for the entire second half thinking this game is perfect for him. These are crap. Somebody with a bit of guile who could get in and cause them some issues, we could easily get back on top of this game. And that's all we needed in my eyes at that point. And it just didn't come. And I watched entire second half. He were down near that corner flag in northwest corner for nearly all of it. And you're just thinking, why is he down there? Why is he not on the pitch? Why is the manager so reluctant to put him on the pitch to the point it's become an issue and it's causing consternation, and the fans are starting to turn on him because of it. Do you know what I mean? It's all well and good having your principles and having a backbone and that, but not when you're cutting off your nose to spite your face and it's costing our club. I can't accept that.
And Coleslaw and Toast is making a point here. Why not tell us if Nonto's injured? Takes fan pressure off Nonto and have himself. We saw him with a boot on 3 weeks ago. And I think he was due back at the last game. So if he's not match fit, then say he's not match fit.
Yeah, tell us. So we're not all clamouring for him. Fit.
Yeah, and I get the. If you look at, it was a real shame seeing how to come off because he scored, and I think we've all spoken about how well he can influence and impact games, and that he's dangerous on the ball. So it was a shame that we lost him, and it was a shame that we lost him so early. But Javi was asked after. I don't know if you heard it. I had Radio Leeds on the way home after the game.
I heard it.
And there was the direct question of the changes and why he made changes and why Aronson, why did Rodrigo go off when he was playing well, and he said, well, he doesn't have 90 minutes in him. And when we're looking for changes, why not bring any on? Well, we only had one more window for changes, and therefore we had to be in a strong position and make sure that we're going to get to the end of the game, which is fair. But but the other side to it is, if it's that Nonto's not fully fit, well, okay, we'll say that then, so that it takes some frustration away. Yeah, exactly. He does play his cards close to his chest, and I'm okay with that. If you look at Bielsa's early days when he would pick his team a week before and would tell everybody what his team was, and so we're all like, what on earth is he doing? And he adapted to that. But I think if it's that he's only got 30 minutes in him, or the manager only thinks he's got 30, 35 minutes in him, and if Cini had been injured on 60 minutes, actually it would have been Willie coming on instead of Jimmy coming on for it.
Maybe.
Or instead of Aronson coming on at that time, it would have been Willie coming on. Say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. He's not going to give anything away for the next game, is he? He
might think, in theory, playing devil's advocate, he might think that Forrester are about to take a penalty in the 90th minute, by the way. He might think that
Robert's just ready with Ferran ball.
Yeah. He might think that having the threat of Nonto on the bench means opponents will have to prepare with him in mind, even if he's not going to play, perhaps. But still, when you're getting this much backlash from the crowd and you've got a whole ground turning on you, I think it's time to just front up and be honest and say what's what if there's an issue. Because otherwise, we've got no else to think, have we, other than there's some kind of personal problem.
Yeah. And, there were a lot of rumours around, was there a fallout between, I think it might have been Firpo and Ayling, people were talking about half-time at the Palace game, and has something gone wrong, and why is Cooper not being picked? Has Garcia fallen out with Cooper? There were a lot of these things flying around, and it's so easy to manage that sort of thing if you just provide a bit of a transparent update after the match. Just because he's not match fit for the entire match or for 70 or 60 minutes, whatever it would have been if he'd have come on for Cini, that doesn't mean he's not going to be available in the next game. So it's not like you're giving anything away. You're just allaying the fears of the fans of, well, why isn't the person that looks like our most dangerous threat, why isn't he coming on? He carries a massive threat and he worries players. Yeah. He worries the opposition. And just worrying the opposition, even if when he gets on the ball, if he doesn't actually do anything, the fact that he worries the opposition means they double up on him. Well, that's gonna manage space for somebody else.
Correct.
So the fact that they're going to react to that. So I do see where you're coming from. I think for me, I think it would a much better showing than it has been. But then because it's been so abject recently that what we needed to see was the fight.
Yeah.
Smarty, I'm going to come to you, mate. So where'd you? I mean, is it a similar mindset? Is it a little bit more positive than where Jay's at? Where are we?
Well, no one gets more positive than positive Jay, do they? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have said, yeah, it was a better game and they played all right. Yeah, they played better because the bar is so fucking low right now. They can't really get much worse, I don't think. To be honest, I don't really have much to add to what you guys have already really said. I was puzzled with the substitutions. As soon as Rodrigo went off, we seemed to just lose the fight and the shape.
He was well for it.
That lad literally left everything out there. He absolutely ran his bollocks off last night, and I thought he had a fucking brilliant game.
I think he must have made more tackles than anyone in midfield.
When he went off, that was it. And I just really don't understand the Aronson. I mean, like you guys have said, he tries hard, and you can see he wants to do well, but he's just not the right player. He's just not the right player, and it really puzzled me. And I don't think that the lads stopped trying. I think the effort was there. I just think the panic set in, especially when they start to get a little bit of leeway. I mean, the ref, fucking hell, some of the frigging dives and shit. That Maddison was shooting. Honestly, I was so fucked off.
Got his claws into him. Look what Dean Smith did to Grealish. Look what he did to Watkins.
I know, but it's just so frustrating when some of them are so blatant. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, come on, man. Fucking hell. What am I watching? It's like going back to Championship. So, there were obviously, other forces at work and that, but I just thought we just seemed to lose a little bit of everything from everyone, and it needed someone with a calm head, with a good presence, someone that's good at retaining the ball, like Forshaw. That'd have been probably a better substitution than bringing on. I mean, I'm not no tactical master. I don't really know who you'd replace for Rodrigo from an attacking point. But if I were looking at defending, because the defence were flapping, like really, really panicking. There were balls getting sent left, right, and centre. They weren't even good balls. They were shinning them. They were curling off. They were spinning off everywhere. It was just a fucking mess. And it just needed someone to get on ball. And the most frustrating thing is, and I've been saying it for weeks and weeks, our ball retention is fucking non-existent. Yeah. It's like we just cannot keep hold of the ball. All we do is we get the ball and we blast it straight back to them, for them to then again attack us and put it down the channels and look for our weak spots and go through the middle, because, like you guys have said, McKennie had a brilliant first half. I thought he played really, really well.
I did.
Credit where it's due. Rocker, still jury's out on him, but you could see where late on, didn't he? You could see where they were trying to go.
Yeah, but he nearly won game late on as well.
He did.
I know. It's one of them, isn't it? But I just thought...
I mean, he was unlucky not to score that. He did so well. And he beat the keeper with it, and it was cleared off the line. But, just to echo what you're saying about Rodrigo there, I just went and grabbed LUFC Data's take off Twitter. I don't know if you'd seen this. 86% pass accuracy. Played 68 minutes, 36 touches, 13 out of 15 successful passes, 9 duels won, 5 out of 7 final third passes completed, 4 tackles won, 4 ball recoveries, 3 fouls, 1 interception, 1 shot, 1 clearance, 1 time foul, and 1 yellow card. And I think that pass accuracy was second highest on the pitch. I can't remember who was top. And it was joint most tackles won.
Yeah. It were like a red rag to a bull, man. Honestly, it were absolutely all over it. It were
when he was smashing people.
Yeah, he was, and he were giving crowd some and getting going, and and that's absolutely 100% what we needed to see.
That's what we needed.
We needed to see that fight and that passion,
and to see that someone cares that much,
Yeah,
like we do.
Well, he does, doesn't he? Like you say, he does care. Rodrigo definitely does care, and I think a few of them, hopefully, a couple specifically, have probably listened and seen the reaction that they've had over the last few weeks and thought, we need to really fucking pull us socks up here, because this lot that are watching aren't going to stick up for. I wouldn't want to play in front of an Ellen Road crowd when they were pissed off.
No,
so I can only imagine that they won't do. But if we were in World War One, Patrick Bamford would have been shot in the trenches.
No, he'd have been sent over top. He'd have been sent over top to be shot.
He won't have it. No, they wouldn't be giving the fucking Germans the credit there. He'd be shot in the trenches. He'd have been lined up against the wall and shot in the face. Because
all right, boys, this lad's going to cost us. Let's do him.
I've seen it from many angles. I've seen it from where he must have been looking, and I can't see a specific reason other than the fact that it was just fucking useless. How you would miss that fucking...
Do you know what's right?
It blowed my...
He could have had a touch.
It could have It was like the third or fourth time this season that he's had a ball come to him in a position where all you had to do was make contact with it with any part of you, and it's a goal. About 3 or 4 times, and he's done that. And then other week when he got through net end and he blasted it fucking wide, didn't even put it on target. He's done for me. He's out that team. He's not playing again this season. I know he works hard.
Fantastic.
He will.
I don't give a fuck.
I know he will. But not for me, he won't. Do you know what? After seeing what I saw from Rodrigo and those stats, you can't tell me he don't work hard and win the ball and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
if he's going to play like that,
he ain't that good as a 9, though.
Maybe not, but if
most
you're
people's
put two up
arguments for
front-
Patrick Bamford, right, are because of the way that you were used to players and attacking and used to hold the ball up. There's no fucking balls getting to him, or if they are, they're about fucking 6 foot above his head, and he's just not that good anyway. Let's be right fair. He's a good championship striker. He had a good season in Premier League. I don't give a fuck if anyone wants to give. Yeah, but he's been injured. Fuck off. You can just tell. He's all right. He's an half-decent fucking striker. But he's not Premier League standard. He's not what we want. And he's just... He is one of the reasons why we will probably end up going down is because he couldn't finish his frigging dinner. And it's so fucking frustrating that we spunked 35 million quid on a frigging dipstick that stood with Willing onto on fucking sideline. And he's fucking struggling his tits off. I'm surprised if he can even fucking tie his own shoelaces. The guy's useless.
And you saw Danny Ings go for like 10 million. You know.
Hang on a minute. Let me just run the Auto bit intro.
I've done that.
I was just thinking that. I nearly said it. But yeah, I mean, he's not that good.
Like a pressure cooker.
He was the best we had. That was always the point.
Yeah,
Bamford,
3 years ago.
Yeah. That time's passed now. And to
we
be honest,
spent £35 million on a forward.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to say is, do you know what?
Look competent.
For all the stick that he's had, if we're going to play 2 up front, put him in with Rodrigo. Give him a couple of games, see if he hits the ground running.
Yeah, I think
what else we're going to do? Play a guy that can't fucking finish from 1 yard?
I think the point I was going to make on Rodrigo is I was saying, Bamford's not firing at the moment, but I want him in the 9 position on the basis of, the showing that he had against Fulham. He did battle with their centre backs, which Rodrigo doesn't really do. Well, that's why I was saying I want Bamford up front, because he gives us, or gave us, especially under Bielsa, he gave us that level, and we were so completely different without him in the team. But actually, if Rodrigo's going to fight like he did last night, he can do that job. I've not seen that from Rodrigo. Not like that. Not for a sustained amount of time, putting himself about, putting big challenges in, getting people going. I've not seen
the crowd
that from
motivated, getting everyone motivated, and putting some passion. We go on about passion.
That's
putting
what we
it
need.
out there.
We need
leading by
players
example.
like him. We need senior players like him to do that and step up, drag the rest of them through it with you.
Yeah, and I think that is, that's maybe not. It's not a criticism that I've had of Rodrigo. It's just my mindset of him was that he was a bit too passive in games, and wouldn't put himself about. But he absolutely did put himself about last night, and therefore, actually, if he's going to continue doing that, we know that he can do it. Just make sure you do it. Put him in at 9 because he scored the goals this season. All right, he's dried up a little bit of late, but he scored goals this season. We know he's going to carry a goal threat. And actually, if you look at the time that Bamford was playing well, it was 16 in the Championship and 17 the season that we came up. He always said that was reflective of the fact that he'd been told he was the main man. Yeah. Well, you tell Rodrigo is the main man. Yeah. This is your shirt to lose. You've evidenced that you've got the fight, and you've evidenced that you've scored goals this season. He is your shirt. It's your position to lose. You go do
Bamford, it. The main man. There you go. A fucking t-shirt. We'll even make.
And then in brackets in tiny writing. Now
and
please stay on the bench.
Please like and subscribe. I just think just one more thing. Sorry, mate. I was just going to say one more thing on him. One more thing. It's like when you actually look. I've seen videos of Patrick Bamford in the Championship and then his first season back in not back in the Premier League, in the Premier League. You look, he was just a confident player. He was confident. He'd take risks. He'd do things. In his body shape and everything was just bursting with confidence.
That's all gone.
And it's like when Gaza were playing in like little charity matches and shit like that, and it's a bit of a gimmick and all that sort of stuff, and he runs up, nearly falls off, and kicks ball about 3 yards. That's the kind of fucking fall from grace that he's had. It's just like when boxers lose the eye of the tiger or that bit of grit and fight. That's gone. His little spark is smothered in shit and it's fucking fizzled out. And that's it. He's done. He's done. He needs to fuck off.
It does.
I think half of the team needs
it's
to
like
fuck
when
off.
people say, "Oh, he works so hard," and then all his hold-up play. It's like a great white shark with no teeth. Do you know what I mean? He might be the greatest predator on earth, but he ain't gonna get any dinner.
Yeah. Swims well.
Yeah, starts
Swims
Swims
well.
great fast.
Yeah,
I think my only concern with the eggs in one basket with Rodrigo and with Bamford is we can't rely on either of them to maintain fitness.
Isn't life grand?
We just can't. We can't rely on either of them to maintain fitness. So at points, we're going to need one of them because the other one's not available. That's the one thing.
100%,
Rodrigo gets injured in training this week. Bamford starts, and he's really the only option to start because Rutter up front in a front two. Maybe I haven't seen anything enough of him to think that he's got what it takes right now. Maybe in future, but right now I've not seen anything from him that means that I want to see him in next starting lineup. I just haven't.
Same.
So, but that's down to the fact that he's got a massive, massive price tag, and he was bought when we really, really needed goals, and he'd been in a position to contribute that. Not all of that's down to him. The management of him as well. He's got to be on the pitch to be able to score goals, and he's not been getting picked. So I'm not denigrating him in that way either. He's not been on the pitch, but equally, I'm not desperate to see him be picked.
I'd give him a couple of games instead of Bamford at this point, just probably out of desperation to see something different. But again, it's unproven and it could be worse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what else can we do?
Yeah, but he does. Robert makes a comment here. The problem with both is they're better playing off someone. Rutter looks like somebody that will be good with somebody alongside him. So if we're going to up front, yeah, fine. But if we're going to go to the 4-2-3-1, I don't think he's the man to play.
No, he's not.
Up top.
Not on his own.
Again, he's too passive. But if Rodrigo is going to play like Rodrigo did last night, put him in. Give him a go. Get him occupying because his movement's brilliant. He's just, he's not somebody that's really challenged and fought and fight and win and all of that sort of stuff. It's not really been in his locker, but it is because we saw it. So we'll come on to Bournemouth game anyway. But I think if we do look at last, I know what you're saying, Smarty, about previous games have been so poor that the bar is that low that it's not been particularly difficult to be better than. But I think when you look at the side that they've got, Telemans isn't a pushover. He's a good player. Madison's a good player.
That goal
fucking hated his showing last night. Who was? Sorry?
The goal he scored, the first goal.
Yeah, the one that, yeah.
Oh, right. Rocket, that, wasn't it?
I mean, we were stood. I was, Charlie that we've had on here before. He and I were stood on Concourse in Cheese. And we just stood and watched that and we're like, well, you could put a second keeper in there and they're not getting near that. That's one that you're looking at and you're thinking, I hope Melier's not going to take a knock to his confidence on that one because nobody gets near that. Off the underside of the bar and inside netting, it's just, there's not a lot you can do about
Some
that.
stuff just can't be saved.
Yeah, you've just got to, it's almost like you just take your hat off to that one because nobody's saving it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, I mean, just to touch on that gave us such a boost. The way that the fans responded to that.
Yeah.
And I think that did translate to the players because when he scored that, I mean, it was pin drop kind of time on it.
It was.
Actually, by the time the ball got back to the centre circle, some of the singing had started again, but we were rocked by that. But then the place was rocking when it got disallowed.
Yeah, it were awesome.
Yeah. So, that was potentially something that gave us a big lift. I think if you hark back to McKennie in the Forest game, the massive tackle he put in, that gave everybody a lift. I think Rodrigo did that. So there were spells and there were circumstances in the game last night that got the crowd on the feet, that got the crowd up and chanting and making the noise. I thought that pretty much throughout the whole game, even when they scored, except for immediately afterwards, I thought, I don't know what you guys think, I thought the atmosphere were brilliant. I were right at the front of the stand. So sometimes it's quite difficult to tell. I were right at front of Cheese. So there's noise from South Stand, there's noise from Cheese, but you can't really tell. You guys were more central to the stands. I know that it's kind of the same stands, but did you feel that the atmosphere was as good as it seemed?
Yeah, I thought it was. when we were up and running like that, yeah. There were times it went a bit flat because, I mean, that second half, everyone was just at that point, I think, a bit gobsmacked that we were just trying to sit on a 1-0 lead with our defence. But, yeah, like, when that VAR decision went for us, the place erupted like, it were loud as fuck. It were crazy loud. And it got everyone fired up, and it was what we needed. But you can only respond to what's in front of you, can't you? And people's levels just start to drop off a bit as the game looks to slip away and fizzle out.
Well, they will do, but you go back to have it, and why aren't we making more substitutions?
Harvey knows best, apparently.
You've got guys that are like literally. I mean, Rodrigo looked absolutely shot to bits. He looked knackered. So rightfully, he comes off, but we just lost all shape. Aronson, nah. I mean, I'm not going back over this.
How do you take off a guy who's put a shift like that in and put a guy on who can't win a ball?
And expect it not to impact us.
Find a dead end in his desert, like. But
so I think it is difficult. I think Jay, you've already given your input on this one. So Smarty, in terms of the manager, so there's been calls for him to go now. I'm not certain that's the right decision. I think that's too reactionary, but
it's pointless.
Yeah, I don't see how that would benefit us to do right now.
The fact it was that hard to find him, who else would we find now? That's
exactly.
The problem.
It'd have to be Scoobs. Scoobs would have to take over again now.
And we saw what he did.
People talk about Redders. I saw one bring in Woodgate and Boyer because at least we'll have some fight.
Fuck off. Let's just completely disrupt the frigging team yet again for second time in the frigging season for probably most important games of the season.
No, in our board, they'd get Danny Mills and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
It's just a non-starter, innit? It's just fucking stupid talk. I mean, there are people on social media that are deliberately going around spreading bullshit now just because it's funny and because we've got nothing else to talk about, really. Well, we have, there's people doing little spaces and stuff like that, which, I don't really want to speak about myself. Shock, I've been blocked and. A few people.
You've had a lot to say the last 24 hours, haven't you, Smart?
Mate, honestly, I've tweeted probably more in last week than I think I ever have done, if I'm honest. And no surprises, my follower count has gone down slightly.
Smarty loves misery.
Yeah.
I've been arguing with a lot of American fans over the past couple of days.
It doesn't matter. Nationalities galore. It's just everyone hates me at the minute. Because I'm just a sarcastic bastard. And I just find it all quite well. Obviously, I just find it amusing, and it's like therapy for me to be sarcastic and to trying to find the funny things in our misery. It's like tonight I wanted to do a fucking live unboxing of some razor blades or something, just that sort of thing because it's just fucking shit, and because we've been so shit and so poor for so long, we've had a little glimmer of fantasticness, and now it looks like our light has died out and we're off back to the doldrums of the fucking championship again. Potentially.
It's been
but you've got to laugh, haven't you? You've got to laugh. The Premier League's dog shit anyway. Fuck it.
If you ever tell me that it'll do us good going down, Smarty, I'll
no, I will never say that. I'm just going to stop watching football and just start watching ice hockey.
Fair enough.
No, I'd never say that.
Yeah,
people have said that.
It's the most ridiculous, naive view in the world.
Absolutely.
Like, we'll end up probably with no takeover. We'll be stuck with these fuckers longer. They aren't going to spend a lot of money to build a top-notch squad. They're going to cash out as much as they can because they're still going to be going at some point. They aren't going to be looking to invest a lot of money and start all over again. They aren't going to find another Bielsa.
No, I agree. So, just to look at the actual results for tonight, just as we have a look. So, Forest have beaten Brighton 3-1. Brentford have beaten Chelsea at Chelsea 2-0. West Ham have lost 2-1 at home to Liverpool. And Man City are 80 minutes into the game beating Arsenal 3-0. I think there was a bit of a debate I had earlier on Twitter as well, where somebody was saying, I hope Arsenal beat Man City because then they'll take their eye off the league. And when we play them, they'll have their eye on the Champions League. I'm not certain of that. I think
thinking.
Well, Arsenal now haven't won in 4. They've had some abject draws, And Man City were coasting when I watched them earlier before we came on here, but they've drawn against Southampton.
Were we last side
West
the beat?
Yes.
Typical. Fucking
yeah,
typical.
so since playing those, they've drawn with Liverpool, drawn with West Ham, and then drawn with Southampton at home. I mean, Southampton put up a right fight. I don't know if you saw any of that. Southampton played pretty well, and then they're getting beat 3-0 off Man City.
This winds me up so much, and it's happening constantly now. Teams like Arsenal being held or beaten by shit teams around us, but when we play them, we get absolutely blown off the fucking pitch.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we do that? Why can't we fight like that? And the first half last night, it was great, but is it too little,
time
too
and
late?
time again? People raise their games
ago?
against Leeds. Everyone hates Leeds. We are the team that people just love.
Do they
to
know
beat.
Smarty anymore, or do they look at us as like a punching bag?
Of course they fucking do, Jay. Jesus
it's us
Christ.
they hate.
They used to. I'm not sure they need to anymore.
It's us they hate. They still hate us, even if the team aren't giving them.
I know, but I'm just so sick of what I've been seeing. It's inept.
Yeah,
I don't understand why professional footballers on that kind of money just can't play a basic game of football properly. But I mean, as I said before, the tactics were shit. The standing off them was shit. So it's not. I don't really put last night on them so much.
No, I think the tactics until we scored were all right. All right.
Yeah. They were at that point.
It was the fact that we retreated into a shell as soon as we'd got into it. So you look at. So somebody pointed out that in February, I think it was, we broke the record for the number of goals conceded in a calendar month. If we concede 2 against Bournemouth at the weekend, we will break our own record. 2 months after we set it, you look at that and you think, right, okay, well, defence is clearly our issue. Now, all right, during that period, we've had no Cooper, we've had no Weber. Cooper's back, but Weber's back out again. We've had no Adams. These have really, really hurt us. But even in spite of that, we are a sieve at the back. We're conceding loads of goals.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what you think is, right, okay, we've got 1 goal, we're in front. Right, let's push on. Let's get another one and get ourselves a cushion so that we can actually relax a little bit and dominate possession because we're not having to push for the game. And none of that. Absolutely none of that. And
it's a home game with an Elland Road crowd behind them.
Yeah, and we were behind them. Push on.
Yeah.
Let's
go for it.
In bits, but the crowd's so anxious. You can feel it. It stinks of anxiety in that fucking stadium. You walk in and people, it's just like a low hum.
Yeah.
And they don't start singing. There were no singing until the lads started appearing, out of a tunnel and that. And then
you could only eat Leicester fans, couldn't you, until then?
Yeah, and it's so subdued because there's so much pressure, and it's a horrible, horrible place to be, is Elland Road, when it's not going right, and it's the best place in the world when it's going wrong, and it's the best place to be when it's going right. It's so yin and yang. There's no happy medium.
Yeah, no, you are right, but that's why character is important to the players that we sign, because they need to have the stones to be able to play in front of a crowd, and actually, when it's not going right. And the fans are worried about it because it means so much to us to actually stand up and Rodrigo it like he did last night. Yeah. To want the ball, to dominate your opponents, get in the faces, be physical with them. They need to stand up and be counted. And that's what's killed me with this McKennie stuff, because he hasn't been. He's been a passenger. And you look at some of the games that he's played before he joined us, and you look at the plaudits that he's received in the past, and how he plays for US team, and he does put himself about, and you're thinking, just fucking do it. We're not asking you to do something that you can't do. Just do what you do.
Where
Go
the
and
fuck
dominate
is this guy
physically.
This is the guy. Yeah. That's the guy I thought we'd signed, not the chuffing half-arsed lad that's been running around for the last fucking 2 months or whatever. That is the player that I expected to sign. That is the guy, and I was like, he's having a right game.
He worked his bollocks off in first half.
He did.
They were everywhere.
Absolutely. And, like we said, credit where it's due. A few of them, I thought Jack Harrison were fantastic.
He got man of match.
Pillows,
and do you know what?
The pillows were
I
back.
couldn't complain about it. Yeah, I couldn't. And that, there's been comments about McKennie. He's been played out of position. I'm sorry, he's a midfielder. He's been playing in midfield.
Oh, yeah.
All right, yeah, he's being asked to play a little bit deeper than normal, but that's not out of position. He is a midfielder playing in midfield.
He's a box-to-box midfielder, right? Yeah. A box-to-box midfielder means you can kind of do it all.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not
right.
a speciality like Calvin Phillips used to be under Bielsa. You're not a speciality, attacking. You're not number 10 or whatever. You are a box-to-box midfielder. You get fucking forward and you come bastard back. And that's it.
Yeah, and that means you have to have the legs, and you have to have the effort and the running and the endeavour and everything else with it.
You've got to be able to pass, you've got to be able to shoot, you've got to be able to defend. You're the whole fucking thing. And £35 million would suit that sort of player. If we were paying £5 million for a guy that,
or a sub.
Sorry, what, you're asking me to put some effort? Sorry, no. No, that doesn't come under a £5 million price tag. Sorry, you're asking me to tackle? Not a chance. Shoot, come off it. It's like, well, please tell me what it is that we're getting for $35 million, because I'm absolutely clueless. And you've got Stuart Dallas, who we picked up for fuck all, who played in every bastard position apart from in between the sticks, who's a legend. And he does it well. Of course he would. Of course he would.
I love this version of Smarty.
He'd put the gloves on. If we needed him, he'd do it.
Just wait until end of season special, which I'm not here for, by the way.
Don't you worry, mate. Don't you worry. I'll sort that.
We'll get you in.
I'm going to spin through some of the comments. We have had comments about this game. So before we move on, so Coleslaw's right. We're crying out for changes. It never came last night. Stephen Osmond's in. The game went away from us as soon as he put Arrington in number 10 role and went to a 4-2-3-1. We invited them onto us. Coleslaw again. No midfield in the second half. Leicester carved through us like a hot knife through butter too many times. Paul Brennan. How Patrick Bamford missed that open net is bloody unbelievable. For fuck's sake, that was the miss of the century. I think there were some comments on Twitter around, well, it'd have been, VAR had looked at it and ruled it out. I've had another look at it. I don't think it's offside.
He wasn't off.
Either way, if you don't know, I think he prayed. Or not, you've got to finish.
He were praying. He were offside.
Anyway.
Please, for the love of Christ, if there is anyone up there, please put your flag up.
There's nobody listening.
We're having to go at him anyway because
he
was smashing everything all over the place. He were looking along line. He was last man. He were looking on the line. So when I say last man, I mean there were nobody on the other side of him towards the touchline. So when you're looking along the line, if you are offside, that's criminal anyway. But no, he wasn't. I think that would have stood. Had he finished it. So no, that's a fucker. Paul Brendan, why Harvey doesn't put Willie on is beyond me. When Willie comes on, the opponents have to double up on him. Last night was the night to get Willie on. Chance missed again.
Yeah,
does feel like missed opportunity, doesn't it? Rocker doesn't have the legs to be Premier midfielder, and Marsh would sub him off early in game. Actually, that's a fair point. Marsh did take him off a lot. It was around 60 minutes he were being subbed. We're not seeing that now.
And usually Somerville would come on. That's another lad that would be more suited to that kind of game than Aronson. But what do we know?
Have it at fault them something all wrong. Needed was Nonto, maybe Forshaw in midfield. Rocker runs out of gas. I think even if you put Forshaw into midfield instead of bringing Aronson on and push McKennie forward, McKennie's already on the pitch.
Yep.
Bring Forshaw on.
He's a box midfielder.
Yeah.
He'll be able to go and farm up the top of the pitch.
And Forshaw is somebody that can calm shit down. He's going to get on the ball. He's going to do that weird little turn that he does. That means he's all of a sudden got 5 yards of space from nowhere. That's the one thing that he's always got. He just manages to manufacture himself some space, and then he plays a simple ball, and we retain possession. It seems dead easy, doesn't it?
It's that simple
to talk about. But that's
the best way to stop someone scoring, the opposition scoring, is to not give them the ball. And if you can pass it around, do a Reading, knock it about between you, get plenty of space, knock it around at the back, go forward a little bit, come back, blah, blah, blah. As long as they don't have the ball, they can't score a goal. But what will we do? We just lump it straight up front to their big fucking Jippo centre-backs. Dush! And it came straight back.
I don't think you're allowed to say that anymore.
And it's... Can you not? What Jippo?
Oh, God.
Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
It's gone rogue. It's gone rogue.
You should have heard Stick I was giving him when he bloody at corners like, Jeepo!
3 times.
Oh, God. We're getting cancelled.
Comments used on the pod are comments of individuals and not as the pod as a whole.
Oh, man.
All Americans will be Googling what a Jippo is now. 4
times.
Jesus Christ, man.
Sorry.
Moving on. Why not tell us if Nonto's injured? Say it's fan project. Yeah, we'd already talked about that one, haven't we? It would, being a bit more... I get that he doesn't like being transparent about the injury situation. Absolutely fine. We've been too transparent in the past. but be a little bit transparent and tell us what's going on after the game. I'm not saying in the presser that's for the upcoming match, tell us everybody that's out and everybody that's in. Leave some question marks for the opposition. After the game, you're not going to impact anything. There's 5 days between last night's game and next game. It doesn't impact anything to say, Willie didn't quite have the hour that we would have need out of him when we brought Cine off. Fine. We all look at each other and go, do you know what? If you haven't got an hour in him, fine. He's coming back from injury. We know he is. He had a boot on. Great, fine. We understand now why that was the decision that we made. And do you know what? Jimmy's. We all debated whether you'd start him on the wing. He's not a bad winger to have coming on. So that in itself wasn't an issue. It's the fact that we still didn't see him towards the end of the game. Liam B, when we scored, why didn't we push on and try to score more? We needed that second goal. I think famously, our fans in the stadium will, when we've only got 1 goal margin, 100% know that there's something coming if we don't convert another chance.
Yeah,
it's always been the same.
Yeah,
every time.
Yeah, Andy's making the same point.
We should all collectively have a Sun column predicting shit like that. Maybe not the Sun.
Maybe not.
Don't buy the Sun.
No, don't buy the Sun.
Marsh said too much about injuries. Javi says no. We need something in the middle. I think that's fair. Course, I felt sorry for Arrington getting booed onto the pitch. Whether that was him or the fact it wasn't Nonto coming on, I'm not sure. I think
it was the fact
it was more a groan. I didn't. I mean, maybe there were some boos and I just didn't hear him. I think there was a bit of a collective sigh or a groan as it came on, or at least that's what I heard. But maybe there were some boos.
I think still don't boo a player when he's come on. I mean, fuck no. You can't knock Aaron,
especially when he's somebody that does try.
That's what I mean. He tries and he wants to do it. That's what I mean. Like, some you could genuinely see that they're not that bothered. They have been in previous weeks, whereas he absolutely gives it 100%. It just, it's just sometimes it's just not enough.
And you might think,
boo a fucking young lad. Christ,
you might think it's all right because I'm booing the fact he didn't bring Nonto on, but the player coming on ain't going to know that, is he?
No, I mean, it doesn't matter your reason for doing it. You are booing a player that's coming on that's representing your club.
He got the full Tyler Roberts treatment last night, didn't he?
Do you know
what I likened it to? Sorry.
Well, I was just
remember
about
J.
to
Roy
say...
Grott? Remember J. Roy Grott?
Oh God, yeah.
When he used to come on, it was like just for shits and giggles.
I remember once I turned to whoever were next to me and I said, "Oh, we've given up on this game now." Then because
this lad's about as much use as a fart in a windsock.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for giggles, isn't it?
Tits on
Whatever.
fish.
Yeah,
no, the only point I was going to make is I'd only ever be all right with a player being booed coming on in our shirt if it's a Belushi or a Del Fabro or one of the sick note 6 that refused to play for us. Well, they can fuck off, and we can tell them about that. Not somebody that genuinely looks like he gives his all every single time he's on the pitch, which is Aronson for me. It's not enough. I don't think he's enough. He needs to bulk up a little bit. He needs the Jack Harrison treatment over the summer, get on the weights a little bit and bulk himself. Not too much, but just to have a bit more about him so that he's not just brushed off the ball so easily. But you can't knock his endeavour. And I think as Leeds fans, a lot of people will say, if somebody tries and tries and tries, they'll get our back in. And that's not what happened last night. So that would have been disappointing if it was boo. I couldn't tell if there were boos or groans. They definitely were groans of, oh God, why is it him? Which even that is a bit unfair when he's not making the decision to bring himself on. But I mean that's a natural reaction. But I think to boos it's a bit much for me, innit?
Yeah. Do it after the game.
Bamford's not
coin him whenever you want after Ben.
I think he means boo the board or boo the side rather than boo the player. Comes over and claps card.
I meant boo the board and
like that dickhead that were booing kneeling footballers in lockdown when he was sat in front of his TV, just booing at his TV and his own
proper gammon.
Yeah. Absolute archetypal gammon.
Yeah, that was funny.
Cole's back in. Bamford's not after player was when he came up. Is that injuries or is that the fact he's in front of fans? Who knows? It could just be confidence. We've seen that he scores. He gets in a run of scoring, doesn't he? And we know he's a confidence player because of that. But how that's on having it to build confidence in his players. Patrick Bamford rolled his last dice after this season. It's time for him to go, especially after that massive miss. That miss could cost us. It could. I think if you look at over the course of the last few games, certainly, but over the course of the season, we will not be relegated or survive based on one missed opportunity to score. There's been lots and lots of missed opportunities, aren't there? And it's a collective.
It's
not all on him. The fact that it happens towards the end of the season, it happens against a relegation rival, is why it affects us so much. But
still might find his car on fire in car park after Spurs. Not from me, I might add, because I might not even be able to get there.
Threats are from individuals and not from the podcast as well.
Jay's just about high enough to take his wheel nuts off.
I'll just be trying to reach into fuel cap. Someone open this door for me.
So Skip's in the comments. I want Emilio drop for last night, but he proved me wrong. Thought he had a much better game. I would agree with that. I think the one thing I would say is the really, really good save that he made with his hands and then immediately with his face. He only had to make the one with his face because he poured it out in front of their striker's feet. I know he was offside and that's fine, but that's got to go over the bar. It's got to go around the post. It shouldn't go back into the middle. Yes. Yes.
Yes, what?
Is the answer to Smart's question. Paul Brennan's in the comments. Rodrigo and Rutter up front might work. Rutter can use both feet and shoot with both feet, which is an advantage. Go 4-4-2 formation, old school. It's what we did last night. I mean, admittedly, Rodrigo played a little bit deeper. It was kind of a 1 and a 1 up front. It was slightly off him, but it was basically the old school. Even when you look at the old school 4-4-2, and it was a big man, little man. One of them were playing off anyway. So effectively, that is what we did. I mean, technically, they both look capable. Even Rutter, I think he looks like a technically capable footballer. He's just not impacted any games. I still won't be starting him. I'd still be starting.
Is that a cat attacking here?
I think so.
It's not here. If it's here, there's something wrong.
Oh dear.
Jammy's in. I knew they were going to equalise when my bottom started twitching. He's got a septic peg bottom by the sounds of it. But he does find Smarty's gruffness quite endearing.
That makes his bottom twitch too.
Fair enough.
We got Skip. Funny how Palace, Fulham, Leicester were all must wins, yet we won none, and now fans saying Bournemouth is a must win. Sadly, we are done.
Please don't.
Bill, lads, does ought to really know better? Just messing. No. We ought to know better than having Orta in this club still.
Exactly.
OKB Luke is in the comments. I blame that bitch Carol Baskin if we get relegated. And Jay.
I mean, I wish I had that kind of power, but sadly not.
And Hannah, all the way from the States, is in the comments. Jay is now on a list.
How many registered?
Don't say it.
Sorry.
Too late.
Unbelievable. I'm glad I keep you lads entertained.
So we've got through the comments. Thank you for going through and starring the comments that we wanted to pull out. I think I'm just going to touch on one thing and then we'll move on to Bournemouth because we've already been rabbing it on for 53 minutes. An important thing we're doing at the moment is we are very, very close to being halfway through a 58-day challenge. So myself, Big Lou from LS11, Luke, Bren and Carl from the OKB podcast, we're all under our own steam making our way the equivalent from Ellen Road to the Spurs Stadium and back. We have 58 days to do 400 miles. It's pretty tough, but we are on track for it. There is a Just Giving link, and we'll share that. I've spammed it around everywhere recently, but we'll share it again. But thank you for everybody that's donated so far. It is kind of coming up to payday, so if you've got something available that you could put towards it, everything is, everything's gratefully accepted. It is for a great cause, and the charity have promised to provide us with some videos and so on that we can put out on our socials that just show the impact they have on the community. I think it really is. It's really important if we look at the cost of living challenge and things like that. The work that the foundation does enables kids to be involved in sport, and it's such a huge thing. I mean, I've loved all sorts of different sports over the course of my life, through childhood and into adulthood, and making sport available to everybody, I think, is a really important element. So, no, I think in terms of that, the work that they do is brilliant. And thank you for all of the likes, the shares, the retweets, and so on our socials, and all the encouragement. It does help. It really does help. So, thank you to everybody for that. And
well done, mate. Keep going.
Cheers, pal. And then on to Bournemouth. I know you're looking forward to this. Smart, I'm going to come to you first.
Robert's looking forward to it.
I'm a Scotching. We can't stop now.
I've got my special cup again.
What the hell in Christ is
disappeared,
that?
didn't it?
It's like a cartoon glass, that.
If I say this is water,
What
I'd be
the
lying.
fucking hell's that?
Yeah, right.
Is that because of
For
your
me-
green screen at back? No, him.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
him.
green,
Oh, yeah,
it's a
he's-
green cup, yeah.
It looks like one of them ones that Leeds had until they decided that actually, if you make it so it's not translucent, you can't see when it's half empty when you pour
Exactly.
it. So let's make them paper ones and ruin the environment.
I absolutely believe that's why they did that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Did I ever tell you about me and Bren on Concourse? We were at North East Lower, and he got a pint of dark fruits and I got a pint of beer. And you'd normally think that cider is fairly quick to pour, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you don't tend to get ahead on cider, and you get ahead on beer. So I'm stood there. I've got an head on my beer. It's about this. We stood there talking. He's not had a drink yet, and he looks down and literally has got half a pint in his pint pot. He's not had a drink. I pissed myself.
They were fuming, were they?
We'd come away from bar about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, you can't go back. They're just going to say you've necked half of it.
I weight test them.
Yeah.
Like, do they weigh more than Brendan Aronson? If no, top it up.
Well, I got some right stick. I went back and I went, yeah, can you fill that up, please? And I got some nasty looks from bar staff.
I bet you did.
I'm not quite
Not
on
your
your
fault.
level, Luke, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's not, yeah.
Not your fault that they can't pull a pint.
Right, Smarty, the point we were making. Bournemouth, how you feeling? Are we up for this one? Are we going to win? 3 points and survival, yeah?
Yeah, if you like.
I do like it. I would like
I really don't know. What I do know is that the structural integrity of the whole town of Bournemouth is going to be... there's going to be a lot of curtains closed, a lot of boards up on the windows and all that sort of shit if it don't go away. So for the people of Bournemouth, if you are in touch with the club and anyone who plays for the club, I'd recommend that you do let us win. Otherwise, it's probably not going to be very nice.
It
And as
could
we
be
all
a
know,
bad day for them.
it's happened once before, so it could happen again. The big fucking carnage. I don't know which Leeds United are going to turn up. Hopefully, it's one with a bit of fight and a bit of spirit. And because it is, and what people might call it a 6-pointer, it is an absolute must-win. If we do not win, if we do not beat these fuckers down there, I mean, I don't think it really qualifies as London, does it?
No.
Because it's nowhere near London. So whatever.
They'd say it does. What
Some people do, some people don't. You know, whatever.
Well,
but
Brighton say that they've got the M23 derby, don't they? But
yeah,
that's not
it's
London
just-
either.
it's all
bullshit. It's on South
it's all
Coast.
soppy and it's bollocks, isn't it? But if we do not beat these fuckers, we are down, and that is that. You know, I said that if we didn't get a decent result against Leicester, you know, that I think that's curtains. But I'm not so sure. But I definitely would put my money on if we don't beat this lot at the weekend, then we absolutely are down, 100%. And I will be very sad. And no one likes a sad Smarty.
I don't know. It's quite.
I still like a
entertaining.
sad Smarty. It's okay, mate. I won't judge you for being sad.
Okay.
Jay, still positive?
Not in the slightest, mate. Not at all. It's all gone.
You're positive,
It's all
Jay.
gone.
I've got nothing left.
Pretty much, mate. I'm
Fucking Ian Beale over here. I'm gonna chuff and call. Put your name in as Ian Beale in my phone now. Not positive Jay.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. I'm
So-
just.
You're not expecting anything then. So your prediction's going to show that there's going to be a Bournemouth win.
I'm probably going to go for a draw, and I don't think a draw's enough.
Okay.
I'm hoping that me going for a draw will get us a win, in case it's my curse or something.
Interesting.
But I'm not confident.
What's your prediction, Jay? 6-0 Leeds.
We'll see, mate. We'll see.
Fucking so predictable.
I'm not confident of anything anymore after what I've seen. I don't understand what's going on, and it doesn't matter how much the players try if they're being hamstrung by tactics telling them to sit back. What's the point? What can they do? What can they do if they're not being allowed to go forward?
Cal looks a little bit like Grassi, doesn't he? He does look a little bit like him, doesn't he? So I reckon if we kidnap
looks like
Grassi,
a lot of people.
I know he does, doesn't he? It's
You
just
mean
one
you
of them
just-
fucking
just-
faces.
just Be a bit scruffy with a slightly long face, and you look like
just give
loads
him
of
a little bit-
people.
Yeah, I think if we just get him on sunbeds for a couple of days before, get him down there, give him a little bit of a trim on round edges or whatever, and then just fucking kidnap Gracia. What's he clicking away at here? All right, I see. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I could hear loads of clicking noises going on in the background. Maybe he's feeding his cat or something. I don't know.
No, I was just going to show a tweet from a while back.
Oh, there we go.
From the Cherries Trust.
We'll be making as much noise as we can till this gets changed. This fixture cannot go ahead on this or any other bank holiday weekend. I mean,
they are terrified.
Last June.
They are terrified of us.
I think we should kidnap Gracia and get Carl in there and Nick can play. Basically, we'll be picking the
Carl's
team.
got the same shifty look as having.
He has. He does look proper shady, doesn't he? Proper dodgy character, is Carl. Well, he's a lovely bloke, like, honestly.
So anyway, Jar, we're asking about how positive you were.
Yeah, well, I think if we don't win this game, that is our fate sealed. Because I just don't see
if last night's Leeds
not picking it up.
If last night's Leeds pitches up, do we win?
I don't think so. I mean, Bournemouth are probably about as inconsistent as we are, so you just don't know. But I do feel like they are stronger than us at the moment. I feel like everybody is. That's the problem.
So here's a comment from Bill. Name me one Leeds player who would get into the Bournemouth team. We're toast.
Willing on to.
I think the vast majority of our players walk into their first 11.
I do actually think we have better players.
Yeah, the issue that we've got is the level of coaching that they've had. It's not the level of ability that they've got.
Yes, here we go. Look at this. Go on.
Oh.
Cheers, Mags.
Cheers, fella.
Here's another one for you.
Go on.
Redknapp, even I felt threatened. Like scum are back.
Yeah, but for me, it is that it's that they've had a level of coaching that our players have not had.
Yeah.
I think all of our players, technically, in terms of a proficiency, I think they're all better than all of the Bournemouth players. But they're playing as a team and they're fighting and they're working for each other. And we've not had that. So that's my answer to that.
Who is this fucking wanker? I'm surprised he can fucking type with his frigging webbed fingers, the fucking gig. Piss off.
Yeah. Hey, if he wants to come and watch and add to our viewing figures, you let him do that.
Absolutely.
You thought he'd be busy sleeping with your sister at this time of night, but...
Well, you don't have to be up early in Newcastle because you don't have a job. So
who's blocked Alisson?
I don't know. Oh, shit.
Probably Luke. He's probably gone rogue in comments.
Well, I've just put Mags in timeout, and he's just popped up that Alisson. Says,
don't put him in timeout. Let him keep going. He's fucking
Someone's going to have to apologise to her because she'll kill us.
Rattle Leeds scum. I've rattled you. I'm on my phone in the bedroom fucking rattling all the Leeds fans on fucking YouTube.
Fuck off. Fucking
is he from Sunderland or Newcastle? I mean, it wasn't bad, but that's more Sunderland than Newcastle.
Who gives a shit? They're all top bollocks, don't they?
Oh, God.
Come out of the closet now that all fucking Arabs are kicking around.
My goal in life is to make Smarty go off on me just for the entertainment value.
Fair enough.
Don't threaten me with a good time, sir.
What you need to do is argue with him on Twitter, Rob, and he'll go nuts.
and you'll get some.
Oh yeah.
So try and pull it back to Bournemouth. Smarty.
Again.
What's your line? Are we going to change the lineup?
Ooh.
Fucking after.
Well, I think Sinisterra's broken. So he's got quaver knees, hasn't he? So he's like one of the top performing players per minute in Premier League. He's Sinisterra. I saw something today.
Hasn't he scored 7 in 14, but he's not played a single 90 minutes?
Something like that. I don't know.
He's been subbed off or subbed on every single time he's had an appearance.
I mean, it'd be lovely if we saw Nonto start. That'd be great. But I think I dare say it probably very, very similar to what we started against Leicester. Maybe if Verber's fit, he probably takes one of the positions. Would you drop Cooper or would you drop Koch? Who knows?
Don't have to answer that.
I don't know. I guess it's probably going to be roughly the same. Maybe just obviously with Somerville starting because Sinisterra is broken.
Okay.
Well,
Jay?
if Sinisterra is broken and Willie Nonto doesn't start this time, I think there'll be a fucking riot.
Well, if he didn't come
It
on
is Bournemouth anyway.
after 30, well, yeah. If he didn't come off after 30 minutes because he didn't have an hour in him, he's not going to start 5 days later, is he?
But is that just caution? Or, we need to know what's going on. As we said
we don't
before.
know, and that's the frustration, isn't it? We don't know. It leaves us all
That's the
guessing.
problem. That is the problem. I want to see Nonto play. I'd probably start Somerville as well, just to change things up a little. Just try to do something different. Bamford can't play. He just can't because
He's gonna.
his confidence.
Of course he will.
His confidence must be even worse after that game. It's like this guy must every week get to a new low, and he thinks, oh well, only way he's up from here. Then another fucking game happens and he goes even lower. Soon he'll be lower than I am. He'll be fucked.
He's one of the most arrogant bastards I've ever seen, though, because he probably doesn't even affect him. He's like, oh, fucking hell, I really missed that. That's probably fucked his season up. Same again next week, chaps.
Well, do you know what? If that is how he feels, then that's the fucking problem, innit? And we don't want that in our team.
Well, I think if you are a professional athlete, then you make a mistake. You have to be able to put that out of your mind.
Yeah, of course, but there's still
the sports psychologist that we talked about. You have to be able to put that out.
ITKOKB Luke, here we go. Seen something about someone who knows Willie's driving instructor's fucking pet hamster and his ankle is still dodgy.
Somebody else in the comments earlier on said something about his driving test or something about him driving or something.
I'm worried that he's run over Gracia's cat or something.
Maybe Gracia's run over his foot and that's why he can't play.
Shagged his wife, that's why he's not playing.
Maybe he did a Brian Harvey and ran himself over his own car and that's why he can't play.
Something special, that, isn't it?
I still don't know how you do that.
I think that might have been influenced by something, let's say. Ultimately, we've got no idea what Leeds is going to turn up against Bournemouth. We've got no idea what the lineup's going to be. We don't even know what formation we're going to have. So I think we've probably done enough on that, given that we've got no idea what to expect.
I think we'll just get Robert.
God.
He went to 3-hour pod. I'm not doing any of that.
It feels like it already is most times.
We'll do a bit of
Auto no better predictions.
I completely forgotten all of the other bits.
Me
but
too,
Jay, by virtue of the fact that you are still top of the league, unfortunately, I'm going to come to you for the first prediction.
May I remind you that you've already said that we're probably gonna, draw or something like that. I'm gonna put us to the draw. I just have got no belief.
That's what I'm doing. But I'm going for a mad game that ends up in a 3-3 draw.
3-3 draw.
I still think we've got enough in us to win a game.
It'll be me next, and I do. So I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds. I think that we played pretty well last night, and I think if the Leeds that turned up last night turns up against Bournemouth, I think we're beaten.
Oh.
Not if they're told to stand off for 90 minutes.
Oh. I was literally going to put 4-1 Leeds. I'm going 4-1 Leeds. Fuck it.
Wow.
What?
I'm going 4-1 Leeds.
Where's that come from?
The reason I said, I went, because Luke's just put the exactly same in.
Oh, right, okay. I'm not in comments.
Hannah's not confident, though. Jesus Christ, Hannah.
I like it.
Come
I
on.
like it.
Come
And
on,
we
love.
should get Hannah into the into the predictions league next year, I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. Mags is back. Here he is.
Well,
Oh no, no. Smarty, nice trim, pal. Nice one, lad. I fucking shaved your mum's chest and fucking stuck it on.
Does that mean Alison's back, or have we upset her that bad that she's left
I think
forever?
Alison must be back.
She must be back. I mean, to be fair about that, Luke went 4-1 Leeds about 20 minutes ago. It's not like it's brand new. I was just looking back through for the first person that predicted. Robert Wetzel went. Oh no, that was 4-1 Man City.
Look at this fucking barcode in comments. Like,
I can't see the first prediction.
Coleslaw 7-2.
It's way up.
I don't know what he's on about anyway because Andy all Leeds are we. Nonto starts 3-2 Leeds.
I can't fucking stay at this tosser.
They're going to get beat off Everton tomorrow.
What a weird fucker.
Yeah, very strange. It's funny because he was saying I was rattled.
Yeah, after a 5-minute
then
time
it started
out,
going off.
He waited for the 5 minutes to be up so he could come back.
Yeah, he had plenty of time to Google the shittest fucking insults in the world.
I'm going to start talking about your mum and dad.
Fucking
Because I never had one pet.
Because my dad fucked off when I was a nipper.
Anyway.
Okay. Luke's also gone 4-1 Leeds. Anybody else with a 4-1 lead?
It's always a good pod, isn't it?
I'll get the predictions off the rest as well. So Jay, you've gone 3-3. I've gone 2-1. Fans have gone 3-2 Leeds. Smarty's gone 4-1 Leeds. Luke's gone 4-1 Leeds. I mean, to say that everybody were being really negative, we've got 1 draw and 4 Leeds wins off the back of 5 predictions.
I feel like Itchy predicting a draw. It's like I don't like it because I want us to win so much. I find it hard to back us not winning. I really do. It's so important. It's such a massive game, and it feels like every game, every week now is the biggest game of the season, and it's killing me. It's killing me.
So on that positive note, has anybody got an ought to know bitter?
I ain't got it in me to kick off. I can't.
I think if you'd have asked me last night, it'd have been Maddison, and the Dean Smith effect. But do you know what? It's gone, hasn't it? Fuck it.
Yeah. If you'd have asked me last night, it'd have been everybody. Well, I'm all right. Calm down now. Yeah.
No, I think from a view of Maddison, I think. Like I said, Watkins and Grealish. You look at Watkins now; he's scoring boatloads of goals. He's creating goals. He's being effective. Grealish and a big money move, and did very little to start with. But then they've kind of trained that out of him, that Dean Smith shit that he had.
Yeah.
And now he's going to ruin Maddison, and it'll be 2 years before they fix him if he's there too long. I don't see Dean Smith being there very long, to be honest. I think
Dean Smith just like, for me, he's just like the epitome of like a guy that just spends his life at working men's club, just drinking bitter John Smiths,
shouting at women.
Watches some lads play snooker but never play.
You're not meant to be in here.
Yeah. Get out of the tap room, lass. He's got no about him for me. He's just a nothing fucking personality. Can't stand him.
So on that real positive note, then we'll end there. As ever, thanks everybody for getting involved in the comments. Thanks Smarty, thanks Jay for jumping on. And do you know what? I it's the hope that kills you. But before the game yesterday, I'd made my peace with relegation, and now it's all fucked up again because I think we're going to survive, and that's what's really going to hurt, isn't it?
I just don't want it. I don't want it to be an end of season one like it was last season. I really, I don't think I can handle that again.
I
genuinely
don't. I've got a ticket for something else on the last day of the season, and obviously I can't not be at Leeds. If
Call
Leeds is
yourself
not
a Leeds
decided.
fan.
No.
Call yourself a fan.
I've spent money on this other thing, and it's just getting fucked off if we aren't safe. And I'm going to have to be there. Fuck that. I'm not missing it if we don't know what's happening. It's ruining my life, this football club.
Right. And on that really positive note, that's where we'll end. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again soon.